All right, so here we are. Lesson one of creating your legal entity is going to be picking your name, reserving your name, purchasing your name, making sure that your name is your name legally all the way around. Now, one thing I do want to point out about picking your name, don't put forever and ever into this. It is important, it does make some small amount of difference, but how you run your business is going to dictate whether or not you succeed, not what your name is. Let's go over some qualities to consider for your name. Number one, let's make it short. We don't want super long names because those names need to translate into our website domain. And we want that domain to be something that's easy to remember and type in. So it needs to be not super short, but as short as you can make it without losing whatever point you're trying to make with your name. Your name also needs to be very clear and concise. It doesn't need to contain a lot of weird words, especially misspellings and stuff. It needs to be short, clear, and concise. If possible, make your name relevant to what it is that you're doing. If you're going to be a handyman, if you're going to be fixing homes, if you're going to be doing maintenance, try to get your name to imply that that's what you do. And if possible, make your name memorable as well. It definitely doesn't hurt for people to be able to quickly recall what your name is and type it into Google to find you. And finally, if possible, don't be too specific. So, in other words, if you specialize in carpet and you're going to have a flooring company that specializes in carpet, try not to have your name imply specifically that you're a flooring company who specializes in carpet. And the reason I say this is you don't know where you're going to expand to in the future. So if you're doing carpet, maybe just call it flooring, or instead of flooring, just call it whole home solutions. Because once again, as I said, now if you're going to specialize in that forever and you know for a fact that's your long term goal, go ahead and specialize. But if you don't need to, if it's not an absolute certainty for you that you're going to do this and only this for the rest of your business's life, try not to be too specific with your name. And as I mentioned above, try not to use purposeful misspellings if you can. It's not that they never work, but they do seem a little bit unprofessional and it may turn off some people, and it just isn't necessary. So, unless it suits a very specific purpose, don't use purposeful misspellings. And in general, try not to sound unprofessional at all. Try not to use curse words. Try not to use innuendo. Don't include religion or politics or say anything controversial with your name, really, unless, like I said, unless you're just really dead set on it. But if you're just trying to start and run a business because you need to make money, which is a tool that you can improve your life and your family's life with, if that's the goal, then leave your personal beliefs and stuff out of your business name. And finally, the last thing to really try to avoid is any words like affordable or cheap. Don't try to sell your business based on price. If the name of your business implies a low price, people are going to always expect you to have a low price. And there's honestly no good reason in this industry to be using price as your main form of advertising yourself. So, in other words, let your name be relatively boring and sell your service based on your service. Sell your company based on the quality of service that it provides. Do keep in mind, if you start an LLC, which is what I'm going to be teaching you to do in this course, if you start an LLC, you're going to be able to have multiple DBAs under that LLC. And a DBA is doing business as. So your LLC could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 LLC. And under that LLC, you can have 5 different DBAs that you're operating your business under. Now, this may change from one state to the next, but generally speaking, your DBA, or rather your LLC, can have multiple doing business as names beneath it. So you can brand however you want to brand while your LLC name stays the same. So let me go through a quick list. These are just names of people on my channel who have requested my documents. They fill out a form and I end up with their name and their business name when they fill out that form. So I went through there and just picked out some that I like. I'm going to give you some basic examples. Montoya Brothers. That's the whole name right there, Montoya Brothers. Phelps Strategies. Callaway Home Services. Penny Grove Home Solutions. Tough Task Pro. DLT Cat, Magnolia Property Maintenance, True North Maintenance, Weaver Enterprise, Choice Maintenance, Elite Maintenance LLC, MCA Construction, Lake James Handyman, Dan's Handyman Services, The Handyman Can, Handy Home Solutions, Bearcraft, Homeworks. Now, this is works spelled with an X, but it kind of works on this one. Homeworks. Ready, Set, Repairs. Clear Cut Home Services. Grit City Maintenance. I really like the way that rolls off the tongue. Grit City Maintenance. Innovative Property Solutions, and Nichols Construction. I think those are all solid names right there. Now, go ahead and use the advice I gave you. Pick and choose between the advice, because, like I said, it matters more how you do business than what your name is. But come up with the names that you like, prioritize them in order of the ones you like the most through the least. And now you're going to go check and make sure they're available. And the way you're going to do that is you're going to go number one to your state's Secretary of State website, somewhere within your state. And I can't tell you where because every state's different, but there's going to be a place where you can go check to see if your business name is taken. Here in Arizona, it's called the Arizona Corporation Commission. It's probably different in every state, but you want to check and make sure that name is available in your state. The next thing you want to check is to see if that name is available on social media in general. So Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, all the social media channels. You don't want to be picking a name for your business that's already taken on social media, because they're all going to have priority over you. When people go searching for your business name, some other business is going to pop up instead. And then once you verify that it's available with your Secretary of State in your state, and it's available on social media to the extent that you want it to be, the next thing to check is going to be to see if it's available as a domain, and you want it to be a .com. This is for the purpose of assuming that you're going to try to grow this business over time someday. So you don't want to be, number one, you don't want to not own a domain that is your business's name .com. You want your domain to match your business name. You want it to be a .com. So I would suggest going to Wix, and I'll go more into Wix in a minute, but I would suggest going to the Wix website, W-I-X. If you're watching on YouTube, there's a link in the description. If you're watching on the masterclass on the Thinkific website or whatever website this ends up on, there's going to be some sort of link available for you in the masterclass as well. And go to Wix and see if you can get this purchased as a .com, whatever your name is. And if you can't, go back and check some of those other names. But I do want to stress, you want your business name in its entirety, if possible, as a .com. And once you've verified, you can get it through the Secretary of State. It's available on social media. The instant you find out it's available as a .com, purchase it right then. Do not wait to purchase that domain. You want to get the domain immediately, because you don't want to go set everything else up and then find out that somebody took this domain. And some of these websites, and I don't know if Wix does or any of the other ones, but there are plenty of places where if you go search for a domain name and you don't buy it, they will purchase it and bump the price up and sell it to you for a higher price. So if you've settled on your name, it's available on social media, it's available in your state, and it's available as a .com, buy it that instant that you see it's available as a .com. Now, why Wix? The reason I chose Wix is I spent a good month and all of my spare time going and testing all of the website generating apps and softwares online, all of the platforms online where you can build your own website. And I went and tested them all because I consider myself to be reasonably tech savvy, but I had already found out in the past that I'm not good at creating websites. I don't really understand the entire thing. So I went to all these different sites and I attempted to create my own website. And if it was difficult, I marked them off the list. And if it was easy, I kept them on the list. And then I came up with a shorter list of the ones that I feel are easy enough for an average dude just like you or me. And like I said, I consider myself to be a little tech savvy. But if it wasn't easy for me to create a website on, I marked it off the list, whittled that list down, and then I went through that list to see what the functionality was, because the pattern I found was that when you find a website that's easy for a beginner to use, it also has less functionality. It's as if the functionality is tied to the ease of use. So what I found was with Wix is they have an AI thing they've integrated into there that's going to help you a lot, which makes it easy. It's also still just easy for you to say, click on a picture and the column over on the right changes, and you go to that column and you can just click on a thing that says change picture and click on it and be able to upload your own picture and replace it. So they give you a template. The AI will give you a template that's already a pretty good template, and then basically you just replace your photos and the text with your own stuff. And then once you get all of that done and you've got all your photos and texts in there, the thing I like about Wix is they do have a lot of extra functionality, and you're able to use that functionality in the future if you learn how to do more, or if you hire somebody who knows how to do more, or maybe you've got a family member that just graduated graphic design school and they know how to build a website. Since you're already on Wix, they will have that extra functionality to take your site sort of to a step above. So Wix is the one that I think is both easy enough to use for you to start your own website right now with just a few hours of work, but also complex enough for somebody to come along and help you in the future to grow that into a bigger, better website. However, you don't need to create the website right now. What you need to do right now is you need to purchase the domain. While you purchase the domain, depending on what sales they have, go ahead and purchase that along with a website for you to be able to create later. But you want to get the domain right now. And the reason you want to do that is because the very next thing you're going to be doing, in fact, all of the next steps that you take, you want to be taking these steps as a business, not a business entity, but as a legal entity. You want to make your business be its own thing, so that from this point on, your business is going to be starting up accounts at places and filing for things at different places. And you're going to do that with your business's email address that ends in .com. So what you're going to want to do now that you've purchased your domain is you're going to need to get email hosting for that domain. And you can do that if you've gone to Wix to purchase the domain, and that's where you're going to do the website. The next step is going to be to go somewhere like Google Workspaces or Microsoft 365, where you can actually set up your company's email. And when you do that, go ahead and set one up. My name's Ray, so I'm going to set up Ray at bulletproofhandyman.com. And then maybe I'm going to set up info at bulletproofhandyman.com. And then I'm going to set up admin at bulletproofhandyman.com. I'm going to get a list of email addresses that I'm going to use. So if I'm going to go sign up with 20 different suppliers that I'm going to be ordering things from, which you might be doing later on in this course, I'm going to make suppliers at bulletproofhandyman.com. And when I go sign up with all of them, I'm going to use that email address with my domain to sign up for everything. And that's the entirety of this lesson, guys. If you do this, you're going to be very close to becoming a legal entity. There isn't much more left to do after this to have your business set aside with its own separate tax ID number and everything. So again, let's go over everything from the beginning. You're going to pick a name. Don't worry too much about what the name is. Worry about how you're going to run your business. But pick your name, verify it's available on social media, available with your Secretary of State, and available as a .com domain. Again, I suggest going to Wix to check that out. Once you verified it's available everywhere, go ahead and secure it everywhere. Register it with your Secretary of State, which is usually free. Buy the domain, get the email set up all the social media accounts. You don't have to post on them, just acquire them so that nobody else can take your name, and then get your email hosting set up, Google Workspaces, Microsoft Office 365, or any number of there's tons and tons of apps and stuff online that you can use to set up that business email. And once you've got all that done, I believe, yeah, that was it. Now you're going to use that for the following lessons. So when you get to these lessons and I tell you to go somewhere and download something or register for something or file some paperwork, when you do that, use your domain's email addresses to do that. And you'll thank me in the future, because 5 years from now, when you need to go back and look for something from 5 years ago, you're going to know which email account it was done out of, because it's going to be one of your business's email accounts and not some old Yahoo account or Gmail account or Hotmail account. So with that being said, let's move on to the next lesson.